What do liberals, progressives, and Democrats want to do about Trump? Donald Trump can destroy the nation. I don't know if his supporters even realize it. A lot of what he's said so far proves that he's willing to destroy it in order to save it, in the classic formulation. He attempted to subvert the Constitution and the election and impose himself as a dictator, all with a QAnon-laced pseudo-Christian theocracy under his spell and many white nationalists willing to come out and play on his behalf. So right now, I think the Dems are grappling with these issues, but badly. In some ways, in the long term, our biggest national security issue must involve preventing a team of demagogues who will re-win the presidency by creating chaos and confusion. They are hell-bent on that goal, and we've seen it. It's definitely got to be one of the biggest issues going on today. Right now, the Dems don't seem to be able to convincingly say which is the lesser evil, progressives or Trump, as the Dems still appease the Republicans by avoiding a progressive agenda that could win over more voters. But even aside from that, they're not doing nearly enough to prevent another Trump victory. Yes, they're highly critical of Trump, but not to the extent that they'll use the endless tools at their disposal, many of which I surely don't even know about, to go after Trump over his litany of crimes. Merrick Garland has thus far failed to do anything significant, signifying to the masses that the Democrats either do not care or maybe they are in on it. And if they want to prove that idea wrong and, prove that it's just an empty-headed conspiracy theory, then by all means take action. That is how you will discredit the cynics. Currently, despite all the evidence of his coup attempts, including a new, previously hidden Mark Meadows PowerPoint presentation, Trump is still all but poised to win again unless the Democrats make Trump afraid to even show his orange clown face in public again. He has his army of sycophants afraid of critical race theory and of Joe Biden's spooky communist program of modernizing bridges, roads, and airports. That alone may be enough to produce victory, as lackluster as it seems. That's how pathetic things have gotten. I wouldn't necessarily want to trust his words, but when Trump says he's ready to come crashing back into the White House, I believe him. Tens of millions are still ready to accept a dangerous demagogue who is still ready to take his cues from the white nationalists. Hate groups are sure to still embrace him for all the familiar reasons. I remember Trump in his birther campaign going on and on about Obama's socialist ideals and that Obama wasn't born in America, despite the fact Obama was Wall Street backed and actually did have a birth certificate. The evidence didn't matter. That Trump eventually dropped the birther claim when it was no longer pertinent is different from how he would likely act now. The new and disproved Trump will not relent this time around. There's like a new emboldened approach he would employ. He has learned to not stop lying, whereas before he'd be quicker to relent. He learned that he doesn't really need to have standards of truth and doesn't need to even dabble in facts. Granted, he still speaks out of both sides of his mouth, and he does occasionally say things that are true, but it seems almost like it's by sheer coincidence or maybe occasionally by accident. The man has flip-flopped on everything from birtherism to climate change, and like a standard politician, he was talking about making changes that got conveniently frozen in time. Meanwhile, the public doesn't really care that much or pay attention to detailed analyses. What was a national security crisis at the time is forgotten a week later, or maybe even quicker than that. And Hillary should have seen this coming, but she was as overly optimistic about her win as one could possibly be. And of course, the Democrats should have went with somebody better than Hillary Clinton, just like they should have chosen somebody better than Joe Biden. But They have to be slow to learn any lessons, or again, maybe they're in on it too. In spite of all of this, my gut tells me that there is still a chance. We are in a constitutional crisis where we, the people, must prevail. Or, of course, we won't. It wasn't enough to try having Trump removed through an impeachment process, but the people must take steps to prevent having the current president removed by some type of coup to be replaced by either Donald Trump or some other Trumpian dictator. As much as I don't like Joe Biden, I don't want coups. I want things to actually be orderly, in a manner of speaking, and not without reason. It's not like I'm just a cowardly conformist. I really do think that there are certain ways of doing things, and January 6th having a duplicate event like that is definitely not the way I want to see things going. If they don't start pulling some rabbits out of some hats, if the Democrats don't start doing that, they're going to find themselves in the trash heap of history, and Trumpism will reign supreme potentially for a very long time.